right, here we go. The map is Antiga Shipyard, and at the bottom right part of it, we have our red Terran player from the team Evil Geniuses trying to succeed where his Terran brother DeMuslim has failed. It is PuMa. And in the upper left, we have our pink Zerg player from the team Prime. It is BboongBboong.
That is right, and Antiga Shipyard is the map, and this has been a very close tournament, or a very close map for this matchup. There's a lot of really dynamic strategies from Terran players recently as well. I mean, this is where we first started to see that kind of 3 command center to saturate 2 bases as quickly as possible kind of popularized. And from there, Terran players have been able to do a lot of really cool multitasking builds that eventually end up in Marine Tank and taking control of the middle of the map. But
yeah. Well, PuMa's always been a player, too, that's liked his tech. I mean, he's never been like the big old, you know, tons of Marines, tons of low-tier stuff and move out and try to micro your way to victory. He's always liked, you know, to 1-1-1 against Protoss, always liked to have Banshees around in a lot of his matchups.
And Command Center first.
Yeah, Command Center first this time, not too surprising on Antiga Shipyard. It's a good map for it, but I feel like the style that MMA is doing a lot right now and that Pult is doing a lot right now, going a 3 command center very quickly with Banshees and Hellions and then into a normal Marine Tank style, I feel like that style fits PuMa really, really well with what he likes to do. So I would expect to see something like that. I don't know for sure, obviously, but I feel like that would work well with what PuMa likes to do a lot of times in his matchups.
And I have to say, despite the fact, you know, there's been a lot of balance complaints back and forth, the game is actually probably its most fun to watch now that I can remember. So, as this is a little bit of Mortal Kombat here, we'll see who comes out as the victor.
SCV does not become the victor.
And the drone gets away as well, even to come back and be a little bit more annoying on top of that. So, PuMa doing a little bit more damage there, and the drone is eventually going to have to get away, which indeed it will. It'll lead this SCV on a merry chase, though, and a bit of lost mining time for PuMa. Well, maybe that just may be his scouting SCV now. But like I said, over the weekend we saw Tasia take home the crown at MLG as well.
Yeah,
so
played great.
Yeah, so Terrans are winning tournaments, Protoss are winning tournaments. We have obviously an all PvP finals at GSL. Zerg have been strong lately. It's been a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it's always a fun game to watch, but I do feel like all the matchups are fairly entertaining right now. Every single one of them, even TVT, even ZVZ, and that drone still being kind of a jerk, really, more than anything. But PuMa, you know, I mean, he took the risk of going command center first. He knew what he was getting into, so losing that SCV, you know, should be a little bit embarrassing, but not really totally unexpected in that type of situation. And it's not going to slow him down all that much, too. PuMa, BboongBboong rather, already has his first 2 queens on the way. Did go for a normal hatch first build. No quick third hatch or anything like that. And he does have gas, too. He's going to, again, get that very quick Zergling speed. And just like we saw last time, BboongBboong is going to be in another situation to do exactly what he did against DeMuslim and get in there and shut down that very early natural expansion and kind of undo everything that PuMa's tried to accomplish with this command center first.
Especially if PuMa doesn't decide to put up any sort of bunkers whatsoever. DeMuslim at least had a Modicum of defenses prepared, but as of yet, PuMa does not. And so we'll see what both these players offer here in a second. PuMa burying an SCV off to the left-hand side. We'll see if that's just going to be used as a hidden delayed scout in a bit, or if he actually has a plan for that here very soon. As we can see, though, the supply depot, while starting to go up at the front, looks like he wants to try and put that in place before any Zerglings arrive.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's going to need to start some bunkers very soon, because we're about to see those Zerglings get made by BboongBboong. I've got a feeling here. He's got 6 out on the field. Could do a few more. Still sticking on 4 for a second. There we go. Yeah, the larva pop did just happen. He's able to get all the rest of those Zerglings. So we're going to be up to around 30 speedlings again, and this is not going to be a complete wall. Now, the nice thing for PuMa, though, is that although he's not going to have Hellions, he is going to have more Marines, and that does help. Oh, also killing that Overlord does help as well, but the Zerglings are out on the map, and he does scout it fairly early on. So
yeah. Oh, PuMa should know what's coming now. So sees a ton of links there, and it looks like he's immediately getting his SCVs in position. Second bunker being established at the back. Builds and then realizes he messed up immediately. That's some of the quickest reaction time I've ever seen there on his supply depot, but gets it up in place eventually.
Now, some of those supply depots are a bit low, but BboongBboong may just decide to forego that attack, and I like this instead, killing off these destructible rocks. He's like, all right, if I can't use these speedlings to break the front right now and deny, I might as well. Yeah, I know they can attack through that. It's pretty crazy.
Okay.
But he's like, all right, if I can't do that now, I can at least save these Zerglings, not waste them or something, and then use them to do the same thing once the Muslim tries to take his third. So a good amount of foresight there by BboongBboong. And PuMa, yeah, he's gonna be pretty safe. He's got 3 bunkers right now, double wall, and yeah, he's got nothing to worry about now from the Speedling attack.
Well, he's obviously playing a style that's going to lead him down quite a bit of tech early on, as we can see. Already getting those bio upgrades. He's bypassed any sort of map control Hellions this entire game, so it's going to be difficult for BboongBboong to try and get something done here. He does have 4 gas coming up, though, and will be able to move into layer tech very early on.
Yep, that's right. Also taking that 3rd base, too. Deciding to stay 1 base ahead of his opponent, which is kind of nice. It's good to do, definitely.
Yeah,
so
almost has to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at that point too where we're kind of wondering, you know, is it going to be Infestors? Is it going to be Speedlings? 2 Evo chambers going down right now. That really doesn't mean anything anymore. Used to be 2 Evo chambers, usually meant Infestors, but doesn't necessarily need to be. And BboongBboong, oh, he does get a nice surround on a lot of those units. Yeah. That is rough for PuMa. Oh man, it's going to be Spire now. I mean, when you kill that many Marines at this point in the game, you're like, all right, I think I'm going to try to harass a lot with Mutalisks now. Okay,
well, that Baneling Nest is already on the way.
I feel so dumb if I'm wrong, though.
Well, no layer tech quite yet.
Spire, so BboongBboong. Please.
Well, he has 1/1 coming up now for his melee units, so still certainly could be no layer tech quite yet though. So still
I've got
a ways
a bad
off.
feeling about this.
Yeah.
Wow, Blue Flame on the way for PuMa too. So taking things in an interesting direction, certainly.
Yeah, we'll see if another. It looks like another factory did actually just finish up. So. Where is that at, though? There it is. Okay, down outside of the natural, so
yep.
He will be able to produce quite a few Blue Flame Hellions here.
Yeah, and he could even switch that over to a reactor that's already been made, too, and get even more that way. BboongBboong getting his 5th and 6th gas, but no higher tier tech just yet. Saving things up, deciding what he wants to do.
Yeah, we'll see if we just get an enormous round of units here in a minute. Yeah, I know. It's just waiting. There's layer tech. That's part of the way.
Hard,
he needs that to get a Spire.
That's part of why he doesn't have a Spire or an Infestation. But that's a really late layer. Wow.
It is, yeah.
What? I almost feel like that was a bit of an error. He's got tons of resources. Unless he was planning on some sort of crazy 3-base Baneling bus, there's no reason to wait that long for the layer. So
just make 150 Zerglings and go for it.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But all right, yeah, he's going to make a lot of Banelings. He's going to be safe against what PuMa sends out against him, too. I feel like he should be able to get a decent flank against this.
Okay.
We shall see. He is a bit supply blocked, too, right now, too, which, okay, there's some Overlords that just finished.
Yeah, he is, but that's still quite a few forces, even without Fungals to pin things down at the moment. Stim is not finished up and will not be finished for another 45 seconds. So if PuMa decides to get aggressive here, this could end up badly for him. Already those 5-range Queens picking away at the Hellions. So.
Yeah. Now, normally you wouldn't be wanting to make a ton of Zerglings like this against Blue Flame Hellions, but he's got so many that it's actually going to be okay, and there is Infestation Pit. So yeah, I think in this case that definitely does work. It's going to be a good move to get towards that later tier tech as well. Scan to take out a bunch of creep tumors. BboongBboong has had enough. Here we go, Speedlings, but that's a lot of Hellions.
It is a lot of Hellions, and we can see a lot of Zergling carcasses there as well, but not many of the Banelings have gone down. Of course, Baneling speed is not up. It's still quite a ways off. So the Banelings still connecting, though, with pretty good groups of units. PuMa does force those units away as the Banelings are relatively undefended. Oh! Firing, actually losing some units there a bit. Kind of surprised PuMa actually lost that much with just Banelings undefended.
Yeah, BboongBboong kind of faked him out a little bit by moving away and then coming back in right off that. And he does have a Hive on the way now, too. He's killed enough of PuMa's units that he can stay safe with what he's got at the moment. Kind of continue to build that ground force, and there's a Spire, so it could definitely be Broodlords from BboongBboong. Meanwhile, back on the PuMa side of things, still on 2 bases, and you know what? With the rocks broken down outside of his 3rd, it's going to be tough to take one. He's going to move that command center out there, but his army has been greatly reduced in numbers by moving out on the map, by losing a lot to the early forces of BboongBboong.Prime, so he's going to find it hard to defend both his 3rd and defend things trying to run into his natural, too.
And as we can see, he's already turning it into an orbital command, so it's not going to have the added safety, of course, of being a planetary fortress. Now, that will certainly help his economy, and he needs to be able to replenish forces very, very quickly. His mineral income is way down at the moment, starting to get very low inside of his main. So soon he's going to find himself at a significant resource disadvantage to his opponent.
Well, mules are nice in that they mine minerals faster, but then again they also mine minerals faster. So you do run out of resources a lot quicker with Terran than you do with other races because of mules. You know, the minerals are just going to disappear that much quicker. So you do need to take bases a little bit quicker in this particular occasion. PuMa's got his front very well defended. Does he know that the rocks are gone yet?
Yes,
I feel like he
just
should.
sent some Hellions out there to
yeah,
check.
he should go. So at least he knows he needs to defend it, but still is going to be a little bit risky.
Adrenal gland's already on the way, and there's Greater Spire. So
Yep.
BboongBboong going to be moving into those Broodlords very quickly here. As we can see, though, Sensor Tower being put down. PuMa trying to take a more defensive position with those bunkers and supply depots up at the front, but still is going to require quite a defense when the attack eventually comes.
Yeah, now it's nice that he did go for Blue Flame Hellions, because that's the only thing that's going to really let him be mobile around the map right now. He's going to be able to try to watch for outlying bases, kill off drones maybe once in a while, and just kind of keep good tabs on where his opponent's army is. That Hellion obviously does not last very long, but you know, overall it's nice to have that option to be, you know, mobile with those Blue Flame Hellions.
Scouting Hellion certainly did its job, though. Saw that there was no fourth base there and knows that there's no fourth base because he does take control of the middle of the map. And has to watch out there. Those Hellions were in danger of being surrounded.
Yeah, that's no good. Adrenal gland's getting close to finishing. Oh, it's not to anyway, but PuMa takes some damage, loses a lot of those Hellions, loses a lot of his map awareness through that as well. He's down on supply, he's down on upgrades. It's a really tough spot right now for PuMa. He's going to try to do a bit of a drop. There's no mutas out that he really needs to worry about.
Now,
but BboongBboong's army is really mobile.
BboongBboong is taking a fourth base finally, but it has been quite a while in the coming. So PuMa's been able to sit and saturate on a third base as well and kind of get back into the economic game, as it were. So we'll see if BboongBboong has a response to this drop. He should see it coming. It did cross the vision of the Zergling and is going to cross this Overlord just before it drops as well. But it looks like he's going to try and move through the middle of the map. Fungalgrow's pinning down a couple of forces there.
Yeah.
And, that is a huge amount of damage done to PuMa.
Yeah, just did not have a lot of medevacs out, couldn't survive the fungals. He just lost basically his entire army right when Broodlords are starting to spawn. This drop could do some damage, but even after BboongBboong cleans it up, he is going to be in such a great spot. He's even going to use some Broodlords for it. He's like, I don't care if you see this. I just killed your whole army.
And that he did. So now the medevac going to be chased down by some Corruptors. We'll have to drop those units out in a second. Big Zergling counterattack over at the third of PuMa as well. More workers going down there. He is able to bust on through the front as well. Tank's not going to be able to hold on to that, unfortunately. And BboongBboong is just running all over PuMa at the moment.
Yeah, man. PuMa loses his third base. The drop getting taken out by those Broodlords eventually. Here he does kill those Marines. The front getting taken out, or the wall into his third getting taken down as well. More Broodlords on the way for BboongBboong. Supply lead is looking pretty good for our Zerg player. And I don't know, man. I mean, PuMa's just in an almost unwinnable situation here. I mean, either he has to play really defensive, hope that BboongBboong makes some bad engagement decisions and he can get ahead that way, or he's just going to have to do a lot of damage with these drops. It's going to be tough.
And PuMa has been able to do a lot of damage with this sort of harassment in the past, and that is certainly a nice little win for him there. Clears up a lot of workers, and he's going to start working on this hatchery before units come and eventually clear this up. He'll need to pick up. Looks like at the same time trying to move into the left side one more time, but not a lot going to be done there, unfortunately.
Yep. Queen's taking out the medevac. No prob there. And, yeah, I mean, BboongBboong's just going to keep taking bases, getting that Ultralisk Cavern as well. He's going to be able to start tech switching. And economy-wise, I mean, if we bring up the income tab, it's going to look pretty one-sided for Zerg, yeah. Well, the mineral income, I mean, mules. What can you say? How many mules are on the map right now? I'm curious.
Let's find that out.
7, yeah.
7.
Okay, so
hold on.
Saved up a little bit of energy there.
Watch this number go down in a second as we'll check out these drops here. But yeah, PuMa.
Looking a little bit more even now, but still, the power of mules.
Yeah, no kidding. So.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like, wait, what? I'm like, there's got to be a ton of mules out. And there were.
That is a fact.
Yep.
And then he found a lot of money.
That's right. Then he found a lot of minerals.
Yes, but as we can see, it's actually continuing to drop now as, there we go, as things start to even out a bit without those mules in tow.
You know, and again, without a fourth base, without more bases in general being taken for PuMa, those mules are just going to basically serve to give him a temporary boost, you know, which unless he uses it to get economically back equal with his opponent is only going to be, you know, just a way to mine out his existing 3 bases faster.
PuMa is all over the map at the moment, trying to move through the middle as well and inflict some damage
Not
here.
a bad attack.
And he is able to pick off a couple of infestors, but the fungal growths have been pretty devastating. Baneling's starting to roll through now.
Oh.
And PuMa isn't able to split in time, and he is going to lose absolutely everything on the way out. Looks like this drop finally cleaned up off to the left-hand side without doing too much damage.
Yep, BboongBboong still with a good supply lead, making some more infestors and Zerglings as well, coming in to try to clean up the rest of it. Oh man, no fungals there, but the Marines just not getting out of the way in time.
Yeah, and the Broodlings are alone going to be enough. That is a pretty staggering amount of Broodlords. What is in the air to help against this? Just 20 Marines and 2 Vikings against the 12 Broodlords that are there, and they can tank a lot of damage.
Yep, more Banelings being made as well. There's a scan from PuMa, and he doesn't feel good about seeing that, I can guarantee you. I mean, he's got Vikings out right now. There could be a couple Corruptors here to help out, but, you know, the attrition is just going to be so high. Even if he kills all these Broodlords, he's going to lose a ton in return, I think.
Or just transfusions, apparently. That's what's keeping
too.
these alive.
Yeah.
There's GG, and Prime goes up 3-2, taking their first lead in the set.
Yeah.